Just to let you know, Dave Caldwell, that these allegations are not going to go away. This is just the beginning. So I think you need to come out and do an interview. I mean, any other time we can't get you off IFL, Behind the Gloves, Seconds Out, Boxing Social, Fight Eye. We can't get you off YouTube. So you need to come out and answer these allegations. You're more than welcome to come on Porky's Corner. You can do it by Zoom. You don't have to do it in your gym. You can do it by Zoom. And I'll ask you these questions from these lads. Alright? And then once you've answered them, then I'm going to play a card that I've got up my sleeve and put this to bed. Alright? So come out, wherever you are. Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? Big P here. Today I'm joined by Chris from Chorley. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing rush out, mate.
What's happening?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, long time no see.
Yeah, finally.
Good to have you back, mate, and you're well.
Thank you very much. I'm trying my best.
That's it, mate. That's all you can do.
Yeah, a lot's gone on since we last spoke. What do you think to what's been happening? Billy Joe, he looks like he's retired.
I've noticed he's ballooned back up, hasn't he? He's put all that weight back on. They'd lost. They'd done so well to lose. They got peeled, and then he's Michelin man again now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a shame. I always feel the glasses are full with Billy Joe.
It's like you always look. I think he's one of them bottom fighters. You look back on his career and you always think what could have been if he'd took the fights early on his career and not like spent so much time out the ring ballooning up in between fights. You always think what could have been, but it's one of them, isn't it? With Billy Joe, it's just I think it's with boxing you have to live the lifestyle of the consistency with the training, like the diet. I mean, it's okay to have a little bit of fun like in between fights, but it's the lifestyle, isn't it? You got to dedicate like 10 years of your life to it. You know, it's the short careers, but it's one of them. It's like you look at it like like his three best wins is like Andy Lee, which weren't even at the right Andy Lee's right weight, and you've got Chris Eubank Jr. and then David Lemieux. Them his three best wins. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you feel that he could have maybe took Golovkin on and Canelo a bit earlier?
I think if it had after the Lemieux performance, if it had fought Canelo at middleweight, I think it would have been a closer fight than when he fought him earlier this year. Been a closer fight because I think Canelo at that point still probably didn't have the experiences that he has now. But like the thing is with Canelo, because he's so active and he just goes from camp to camp to camp. Like he doesn't have much time off in between fights. Like the consistency of like training all the time and fighting like consistently, that's what like makes a good fighter. You know what I mean? He's like never goes like his tools like always sharp. You know what I mean? So I feel like as time's gone on, as Billy's probably like, how can I say it? Like he's like lost his edge sort of having so much time out the ring. Because at one point, I'm sure he had like 18 months out at one point. And then he come back and fought Martin Murray. And it was just like, after that, it's just a mess, mate. I think his biggest mistake was signing with Eddie, though.
Yeah.
Should have never gone to Eddie. Because, I mean, look at what happened when he signed with Eddie. I know everybody says, well, look at like how much money Eddie had like made him with the Canelo fight. But you think about it, he got signed by Eddie, got put on a YouTuber's undercard as like main event, chief support to KSI Logan Paul. Then a headline Sky show against Martin Murray, which was an absolute shamble of a title fight. Somehow Martin Murray had spent 18 months on the sideline and got put in as a voluntary. And then he fought against Canelo. And it's like just a mess, mate. And even the Canelo fight, that entire thing was a mess, like fight week with all the antics that were going on. It was just an absolute mess.
Yeah. Eddie never really backed Billy Joe though, did he? In fight week, did he?
No, it was all Canelo, mate. But the thing is, though, it's like it's wrong because you won't see anybody else do it. I mean, like, but that's what Eddie's about, isn't he? He's just fake. just fake, and he's just thinking of the pound notes because obviously he was like, well, we're going to try getting the undisputed fight with Caleb Plant, and look what happens. Al Heyman's gone and got it instead of Eddie, so
Yeah.
he backed the wrong guy, didn't he? Obviously, and that's it. Now I think Canelo will probably stay with Showtime and Al because end of the day, look how much money you can make on Showtime, and look at the fights that Al Heyman can work with anybody. Eddie Hearn can't. Like they've frozen him out in America now. Basically, his like American like venture is like done now. Basically, because nobody wants to work with him, mate. They've all like Louis DeBella, Shelley Finkel, and Al Heyman. They've all froze him out, and Bob as well. So you know what I mean. It's just. But that's what happens when you go over saying you're going to take over and this and that. And rubbed everybody up the wrong way, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't do it quietly, did he?
Well, no, I think when you go into a new market like that, I think there's a way to conduct yourself and go about it. But the thing is with Eddie, and we've said it, all right, we've said it time and time again. It's all about Eddie. It's not about the fighter. It's all about Eddie. Even this week, he's over in America watching the Canelo fight, and he's doing interviews talking about himself, and it's just like can't help himself, mate. Can't help himself at all.
No, he loves himself, doesn't Eddie? If Eddie were a bar of chocolate, he'd have betted himself a long time ago. Wouldn't he?
Well, it's like I think you can love yourself to a degree, and then there's Eddie. Like Eddie just takes it one step further. I mean, coming out on True Jordan the other day, and just mate, it's embarrassing, mate, embarrassing. And the fact they've tried playing off this Dillian White thing as Dillian White's actually injured. Embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing.
Do you think he's injured? Because I don't.
Nah. No, but the thing is, though, the funny thing is, though, they're saying, oh, well, we're mandatory to fight Tyson, but the WBC hasn't even ruled it. It's not even been made official that he's actually mandatory to fight Tyson.
Oh.
Like, they've not actually said, like, Tyson has to fight Dillian. It's like, unless it comes out of their mouth and there's a statement released, then it's not official. You know what I mean? They've said this before, always mandatory, and then got iced by Povetkin. And it like, this is it. I don't know, mate. I think Dillian White, for everything he says, I think he's a coward for everything he says and gives it the big uns about being the can man, the tomato can man, as Ultra calls him. Anybody can get it if you're over 40.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Look at it. Malcolm Tan, Hellenius,
Whack.
Who else?
Povetkin
twice. I'm missing on Big Daddy Brown.
Am
I missing somebody?
No, you've got all the 60s.
and then Rivas, a blown up cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Come on. And that was embarrassing. That in fight week, failing a drugs test. Life and death. Failing a drugs test and not even telling the opponent and his team. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
But then again, Eddie's against all use of PDs in boxers, isn't he?
Eddie's what?
Eddie's against all PDs being used in boxing, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's promoted Dillian, Canelo, and who else am I missing? Who's failed? Who's been popped? Billy Joe. Kay Galahad. Probably missing a few.
It's all right for Eddie to go on about drug cheats if it's an opponent. If it's somebody he's promoting, they don't want to batten down the hatches.
Only when it's convenient.
Yeah. He brought James Toney over, didn't he? He's a drug cheat.
Yeah. Eric Molina, school teacher.
Yeah.
Been popped for some, I don't know what it was, some sort of performance enhancing drug. And then you got Tony Bellew saying drug cheats to be banned, and he's there hugging Kid Galahad after fighting Jazza.
Yeah, it's madness. What do you think the situation with Eddie and Sky, Chris? You know, what do you think is going to happen there? Because if Big Femi leaves Eddie and goes signs with Sky, where does that leave Eddie Hills? Well,
like, leave him running for the hills, mate. But it was like, the thing is, I said this a long time ago, like, not a long time ago, like, one of the last times I spoke to you, I was saying like I really believe like AJ is going to stick with Sky just because like the pay per view format with Sky, it's like tried and tested. You've got like all the avenues like with Sky. They've got Sky Sports News. They've got the football. They've got the F1. They've got the rugby as well. And it's like people like who tune in to watch Sky are always going to tune in to watch like the Sky Sports or like all them like avenues like football, F1. They're always going to watch the boxing as well when it's on like on a Saturday night. So it like Sky appeals to like a bigger market than the Zone because the Zone is just purely boxing at the minute. I mean, there's talk they're going to buy BT. We don't know how true that is, but it's like even if they do buy BT, Sky still have the lump sum of like all the sports in the UK. Like BT only have a little bit of it. So it's like I think AJ, like, I just think he's going to stick with Sky, like stay loyal and stay humble. And I think he's going to probably still have Eddie doing his talking for him, but I feel like it'll be on Sky instead of the Zone.
Yeah,
but
Josh will play it safe, do you think, Chris?
Yeah, well, Bean seems confident though. You see that interview with Bean, he seems confident that he's going to stay.
Bean should be confident, mate. I mean, he's been getting away with murder for 30 years.
Where's the bodies?
I am that as well.
And his laptop. Hand it in.
But Bean's a confident man. I was going to take Bean on. He's an assassin.
What did I tell you of a month? He's leading the comeback trail, mate. He's on it. He's on the comeback trail. But he's on the comeback trail, mate. Thing is, though, it's like, I think, maybe not just yet, but another year or so, I think you'll say, like we've seen now with like the likes of Natasha Jonas going over to Sky.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fighters who sign with the Zone and think, oh, we'll go with the Zone because like it's the money straight away, isn't it? But they're starting like they're not going to get any airtime now, and it's like people are going to start thinking, well, I'm not getting airtime. Shall I jump ship back over to Sky? And this is what I think is going to start happening now. You're going to see these fighters, maybe not big names at first, but you'll see like sort of mid-card talent jumping back over to Sky. And I think everybody will follow, mate. I think the Zone, mate. I think it's from the word go. I think it's just the recipe for disaster because you can't like boxing's always been pay-per-view. You can't scrap pay-per-view because then the big fights won't get made. And that's just the way that it works. Like, there's no other way you can do it. You have to have pay-per-view for the big fights. Not talking like Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker. I'm talking like the big fights, the ones that you can't miss. But it's like the pay-per-view model got ruined anyway when Eddie was with Sky because you were banging the likes of Chisora and Parker on pay-per-view, Dillian White on pay-per-view. And it's like, it got ruined. You know what I mean? So it all comes down to Eddie.
Yeah, it does. But they would have been Sky Saturday night non-pay-per-view fights, wouldn't they? You know, your Chisoras and Whites and stuff like that.
Back in day, yeah.
Back in day, yeah. But now that's classed as pay-per-view because it's just abusing fans. That's all it is. It's abusing fans.
Dillian White not fought for a European against Joseph Parker, who got practically gifted a world title against Andy Ruiz, a hometown decision.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view. And it's like, and then you've got like Chisora and White. Like, they were both pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Bad blood. The third one will still happen, yeah. They'll fight again, definitely.
Yeah, they will, yeah. They will, yeah.
Because I mean, like I really believed if like Dillian fought or Wallen, I thought Wallen would beat him. You know, that's why I think they pulled out. But yeah, because he's awkward, isn't he? I mean, you've seen what he did to Tyson. I know Tyson beat him, like, but cut his eye up and arguably really should have been stopped, shouldn't it? If you think about it, but it was never going to happen, were it?
No.
But you know, if that's on any other show, that fight gets stopped. You know what I mean? So he will look at get away with that Tyson, but I just think Dillian is one of them. Like, he's an on-top fighter, and I think if somebody turns up to fight and sticks it on him, I think he folds a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's Dillian struggles with a style similar to his or a brawler because it's anybody's getting. You know, him and Chisora to start throwing. You won't put it past Chisora nailing him, would you?
Well, I thought Chisora beat him first time round. Then second time round, Chisora up on cards. Only got knocked out in last round.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I know he still won't beat him second time round, but first time round, Fat Terry stepping in, calling it a slip, ruined it for Chisora.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is it, though. This is what you're up against. They're all in the money game, mate.
Yeah, I forgot about that with Fat Terry.
Fat Terry, Terry O'Connor. We've not seen him for a while, have we?
No, since I outed him.
He's gone, gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? But it's like even if they do like make a mess of something, you just get Robert Smith the next day saying, "Oh, we don't have to do anything about it. What's it to the fans? This and that." Yeah, the same fans who pay their wage.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Yeah. What do you think? Mate. What do you think is going to happen with John Ryder next and Chris Eubank?
I think like with John Ryder, like again, like a good talent. Are they scheduled? Is it talk of them two meant to be fighting? Yeah.
No, I haven't heard any talk about it. I'm just asking what you think about
what's for next for both fighters?
What's next for both? Yeah.
Well, personally, I wanted to see John Ryder versus Callum Smith again because I thought John Ryder actually beat Smith in that fight. Obviously, Callum's gone up now, so it's one of them. Like, it's probably not going to happen now, but that's the fight I wanted to see for John Ryder, but probably out the realms of possibility now that Callum's jumped up. And then for Chris Eubank, I want to see him fight Golovkin. That's the one fight I want to see. I want to see him fight Golovkin or Billy Joe. Them are like the two fights that interest me for like Chris Eubank. But like, I don't think he's the same since he's been training with Roy. Like, I'm not saying I don't like him. Like, I enjoy watching him, but I just feel like he's gone away from what like made him entertaining to watch. Like that brutality of just like ruthless like aggression and just like being all on the front foot and just like jumping all over people. It seems to have gone away from that and like take a bit more like technical edge to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think he's as entertaining to watch, but I'll still watch him though. Still think he's a fighter I like to watch. But yeah, it's definitely not the same as when he were on top. They used to be on top fighter, didn't they?
Yeah. What do you think to Eubank?
To Eubank?
What do you think to Chris Eubank Jr.? Junior mix.
I think he can win his world title again, but it has to be carefully matched because, I mean, like in that division, you've got like your Golovkin, you've got you got Charlo. Like, do you think he could beat Charlo?
No, I don't think he beats Charlo.
No, and you got to remember as well, mate. Like with Eubank, he's like 33 now, isn't he? So he's really knocking on now. You know what I mean? It's like these are the latter years of his career. I think his best bet at picking up a belt is probably Golovkin, just because I think Golovkin's on sliding. He's like 40 odd, but still he brings it. You know what I mean? He brings it. He's a good fighter, Golovkin. It's one of them though. It's an interest. That's the one I want to see. Golovkin in Eubank. I wanted to see that. I wanted to originally see Billy Joe and Golovkin, but Billy Joe's done now, isn't he? Realistically, he'll never fight again now, mate. I can't see it anyway. And if he does, it'll be like super mill, or he might have to jump up because it's one of them, mate. Like it's hard. It's easy putting the weight on, but it's hard enough getting it off. And it's just to get it off, it's just a grind, mate. And Billy Joe, he's one of them. He probably just struggles to put the fort down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What do you see happening with Usyk Joshua? And they all look.
I was just about to say about the AJ. Yeah, I think it's disrespectful from Anthony Joshua, considering you had McCracken who got him out of getting in trouble, and now he's shot him in back, hasn't he? Stabbed him in back. Yeah. But it's like the thing is though, I think with Joshua, it doesn't strike me as somebody who could like go to a coach now and like learn something new. I feel like the way he fights now that's how he's gonna always fight. Like he always struck me as like the black Carl Froch. Like that's how he should have fought. Just gone for a tear up. You know what I mean? But like I think the night when he fought Klitschko, I think Klitschko took his soul that night when he dropped him. He's never been the same again, has he?
No.
He's always like because he fought Klitschko, and then the fight after he fought Parker, and he had a stinker with Parker, and then in the winter of that year he fought Povetkin, and Povetkin bashed him up for 6 rounds, and he managed to stop Povetkin. And then obviously he got beat by Andy Ruiz, and then I think the Andy Ruiz. The thing is with Andy Ruiz, Joshua's a lot like used to fighting people where if he bashes them up, they just fall over. But Andy Ruiz stood his ground and hit him back, didn't he? And I think with Joshua, I think when somebody stands up to him and hits him back, seems to fold to me. And Usyk just dismantled him, mate. From the get go, he hit him with an overhand. Usyk, and he looked scared. Joshua in there to me. He looked scared on ring. I mean, what were all that about? Running to the ring like Ultimate Warrior with Rocky song, craziness. What's all that about? It was, weren't it? I was out with my mates watching it at pub. I thought, what's he doing? What is he doing with fireworks and stuff at Flames, AJ, and this and that? Fucking embarrassing, mate. Embarrassing. Thing is, though, he did all that for him just to get smashed up. I mean, like, I've never seen a more convincing, like, one-sided performance in a title fight. I mean, some of them, like, pundits want to be ashamed of themselves for what they said, saying that they had him 8-4 up going into the 12th round, saying they had AJ up. Craziness, mate. I remember saying to my mates, like, the 10th round, I said, I've got it like 9-1 Usyk. And then, like, by the end of the fight, I literally had it like 10 rounds to Usyk, 2 to Joshua. That's what I had it at the end of the round, like the end of the fight. And even the rounds that Joshua won, barely just nicked him, squeaked him. And it was just this, like, all night. It was whatever Joshua hit Usyk. Maybe Usyk came back twice as hard, didn't they? And he just, but they always say a good big un beats a good little un. Well, didn't work out on that night, did it?
Because he weren't a good big un. He was just a big
Never
un.
were, mate. It's like Joshua's career. It's like a bank. It's like one of the biggest bank heists ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's he says all right things. He looks the part, you know, with 6-pack and stuff and good physique. But is he a good boxer? It's debatable, isn't it? It's not a bad one, but he's not the best. There's better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's people out there now. I mean, I think Wilder put his lights out, mate. I think Wilder put his lights out. I think Tyson Fury plays with him. I think if he fights Usyk again, I think Usyk puts his lights out. I think Dillian White would probably put his lights out. Gets hit too easy. Gets hit way too easy. He's got a leaky defense and he's very chinny. And that's why these if you not notice, I know you say it a lot, but like you look at Eddie and all the plays he's made over the years, signing people. You got your Ortiz, signed Usyk, throw Chisora in there with Usyk, try to get him to like block off Usyk from getting to him. They knew, mate. They knew from the beginning. When Robert McCracken saying, keep him away from Ortiz, Fury, and Usyk, you know, mate. You know, when your coach has no faith in you, mate, you know it's game up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they know, because Rob McCracken, mate, he's not stupid. You know, he knows boxing. And they knew it were coming. That's why they offered him all this step aside money. They throw Chisora in there with him. They fought with Chisora because of how he performed against, was it Weatherspoon? They thought, well, he had a stinker against Weatherspoon. We'll throw Chisora in. He might be there for taking. They thought Chisora might rough him up, but even then, like they were saying, Chisora beat him. What?
What fight were they watching?
I know what planet. What David? What? No, not David. Dave Colwell and Tony Bellew ringside screaming, "Go on, Derek! Come on, Derek!" Embarrassing, mate. It's just like I couldn't believe it. Like, I just couldn't like the fact they come out and had Gall say, "Oh, I had it. It was a robbery and this and that," and Tony Bellew was going, "It were a robbery." End at fight. Jesus, embarrassing, mate. It is though, isn't it? Do you remember that? Tony Bellew coming out saying, "Oh, I'm not going to use the words robbery, but it was practically a robbery." Can't help himself, can he?
It's Tony's mates, isn't it? It's the world according to Tony, isn't it? Tony's world.
Well, the gospel according to Tony. Tony's words gospel.
He's going to stick up for his mates, isn't he?
Well, fucking hell. Well, literally, I'm telling you now, right? Tony Bellew is going to come back for a fight. And you said this, and I always just laughed it off. Thought, well, I could see David A coming back, but not Tony. And the fact that Tony started peeling off all this weight now, and he's putting all these like photos on, he's like trimmed down. He's going to come back, mate.
Tony Bellew's going to come back. Woo, 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 woo.
Can't wait, mate. Let's get the beers in.
I really want to go watch Tony Bellew.
Tony Bellew versus David A, World War III, or Tony Bellew versus Derek Chisora, and they'll spin some angle that Chisora's been sleeping with with Tony's missus or something like that. They'll throw some angle in there, won't they? They would, won't they? And they would, and they'll bang it on pay-per-view.
Oh.
Yeah, that is something typical. Intense beef. Or laughing luncheon meat.
Laughing luncheon meat, innit?
Raw chicken.
Raw chicken.
Fucking.
I don't know.
That is. I won't put it past them, mate. I won't put it past them.
What, writing a script now? All in script room. Writing one.
And get their heads together. It'd be a proper whopper, that, wouldn't it? But thing is, though, people buy into that, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, they buy into like
that. I still think Bellew and Hay free it'll happen. That Hay Bellew free, Bellew Hay free, however you want to spin it. World War III.
Two worlds collide.
Collide. I was going to say collide of nations, but they're both British.
Two worlds collide.
Two worlds collide. World War III or Bad Blood or loser leaves town.
Loser leaves town. Oh God, I won't put it past them doing that. Just the cringiness of it.
Yeah. Oh mate, it happened. It happened. That bit bottom at barrel though. That bit Eddie's last roll at dice. That wasn't it? On the zone.
Eddie's parting gift to the zone after he sinks them.
What, for overpaying himself for all these mediocre fights?
For overpaying all them people, like Tommy Coyle ended up a millionaire.
Laughable, mate, isn't it? And this is it though. This is what you're dealing with. This is why the zone is gonna like. And the thing is though, like, look at all the people like unsubscribing from the zone as well now. Like, it's just to me, it just seems a hot mess, and it's just going downhill. And the fact they actually like sent out a questionnaire saying, "Would you be willing to pay for Andy Ruiz versus Dillian White on pay-per-view?"
I want to watch that on pay-per-view.
The can man. Pay-per-view. That'd be his eighth pay-per-view. Probably.
Have you seen who Can Man's fighting next?
Well, they said he's fighting Fury, isn't he? That's what they're saying, but
Fury's yeah. He's gonna run him ragged, mate.
I mean, can you imagine if he fought Dillian?
Yeah.
It'd be a bloodbath, wouldn't it?
Oh.
It'd be a bloodbath. I mean, the way I look at it is look at what Tyson did to Chisora back then. And then you've got Chisora going life and death with Dillian. I mean, Chisora didn't even touch Fury that second fight, did he? Didn't touch him. And then, just be a one-sided beating, mate. Beat down. They're the best bet for Dillian White to get a world title is pray that Joshua can beat Usyk with some miraculous miracle that, the judges rob Usyk or whatever. And he tries to get the AJ fight, but that's the only way, because he won't beat Tyson. Or if Tyson gets made franchise and then he goes for a fight with Wilder, but I still think Wilder put his lights out. Because I'm sure Wilder's like number one now in the WBC rankings. They've put him as number one. I don't know. I've not seen him. But I'm sure I've seen. It was either Ultra or somebody say that Wilder's number one. So can you imagine if he fought White? Put him kip, wouldn't he?
Oh, he put White into orbit.
Well, I couldn't believe it, mate. I thought when he hit Tyson in that third fight, when he hit Tyson and dropped Tyson, I thought it would game up me, mate, because Tyson, he looked like proper like. And it's like, he sat up for Tyson. I see him looking up, and I was just like, mate, I was like, it was either like, he just, this look on his face, he just looked like he did not want it, mate. He just did not, he just like looked like he was fed up, mate. He got up and give it him, though. You got to give him credit for that, haven't
we? Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when you bet with Mickey Theo.
Well,
free money.
Mickey's not won one with me yet with boxing.
Well, he just goes the wrong way, Mickey. Sometimes I just think he's just taking Mick. So things he comes out with.
No, if Mick gets it in his head that so and so is going to beat somebody, he puts his dough up. He puts big bets on.
I know.
Says the munchers. That's what he's like.
We love Mick though, don't we? We love Mick.
It's a character, mate. Character.
Yeah, he seems a good lad, Mick.
Top bloke.
Yeah.
What do you think to situation with Canelo next? You know, we planned.
This weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Canelo just take him apart, mate. He's just too good, mate. I can't see anybody beating him anytime soon. Unless he went up. I think if he went up, I think is it Beterbiev, Beterbiev. That's a close fight just because of how hard Beterbiev hits. But I think Beterbiev is getting old now. You know, he could be on slide, and I just think he's just too consistent. He's out there too much. I can't see anybody beating him, mate. Can't see anybody beating him. Definitely nobody's going to beat him on points, and I can't see anybody knocking him out, to be honest. And this weekend, I think it'll be a bloodbath, probably, mate. I think Plant's a good fighter, but I just think Canelo's got too much. He's got too much for him, mate. And that's no discredit to Caleb Plant, because I think he's a solid fighter. But I just think Canelo is just that top pound for pound level, isn't he? What do you reckon?
He can punch. He's got toughness. He can take a shot.
Yeah. You know, mate, them Golovkin fights.
And Golovkin and Kovalev stuck it to him as well. And he took it. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, how would you go about beating him? You can't beat him on points, and you can't stop him.
You can't stop him, and you can't beat him on points unless you've got a few good knockdowns now, and you're winning rounds easily.
Never been dropped though, has he? Never been dropped.
You know, you're not going to get. They're not good. What's the word? They're not going to go against him in a tight fight, are they? Judges.
No. Well, we've already seen it. We've already seen that twice, haven't we, with Golovkin? You know, and there was a fight with was it Lara? Yeah, the Southpaw Lara. That was a close fight, and he's got the nod, didn't he? So that's what I mean. You're not gonna beat him on points, and you're definitely not gonna stop him, because who's gonna hit him as hard as Golovkin and Kovalev?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Unless he fights Beterbiev, but it's one of them. I can't see it happening. It's a risky fight. Unless he just goes, screw it, I won't go up and I won't at him. But it's one of them, isn't it? So he will. I mean, he'll beat him and he'll be undisputed, and it'll be great and all. But Beterbiev, that's the one. That's the fight I want to see him. And if he beats Beterbiev, then it's like he goes down as one of the best ever. I mean, if not already.
But, yeah, that's what I think. He beats Plant and Beterbiev.
Yeah.
All-time top 10 of all time.
Yeah, you couldn't even question it, could you? Because you got to look at the resume. I mean, to lose to just Floyd Mayweather and then look at all the other names on his resume, it's fucking impressive, mate. You know, he'll have cleaned up at it's 164, isn't it? Middle.
154 up to
40, sorry.
160, 168, 175.
Yeah, 160, yeah. Yeah, so they're cleaned up at all them weights, and they'll be undisputed at super middleweight. It's it's impressive, mate. It's impressive.
I'd like to see him go for fight with Beterbiev, and if you could beat him after Plant, then he's like, we could start talking about him in the same breath as Leonard and people like that.
Oh, mate. Well, I just think it'd be a good fight that because I think it'd be like, well, Canelo, like he's a good boxer, but he's not afraid to go toe to toe. So can you imagine going toe to toe with Viterbia? Be an absolute war, mate.
Yeah, I would, mate. Yeah, would.
Be a good fight. That's the one I wanted. I think even, like after that, call it quits. And like you said, you'd be mentioned in the same sentence as all them good names, them great names, should I say? I mean, but yeah. What do you think about Frank and BT at the minute? Do you think they're on slide now? Because some of these BT shows, awful, mate.
Some of the shows have been shocking, but I think there's something happening there because Frank's come out and he's saying, I've got a concrete deal and anybody who interferes with it, there'll be legal action. He's upsetting his stall out, isn't he?
Yeah.
So somebody's tickled him, hasn't they? And he hasn't liked it. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, the zone's definitely sniffing around. But to be fair, I think the one thing with Frank is he's got this saving grace at the minute. This Anthony Yard and Lyndon Arthur fight. I think that fight's going to be great, mate. The first one was a good fight.
Yeah.
And I think the second one could be even better. You know what I mean? Especially if Lyndon's got his right arm working, because the last fight it was just he jab won it in basically, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of Yard though? Do you think do you think it's just all hype? I know we've spoke about it briefly before, but do you think it's just all hype?
I think he can punch. But I think he was
Lines in the camp.
He was well protected, yeah, and he got to fight Kovalev and he was way out in his depth. He was very well protected.
Almost worked out for him though in end, didn't it, at one point?
Yeah, he did. When he clocked him near that end, but that was only success he really had in fight, wasn't it? That round.
Yeah, we empty the tank in the 9th, says Tunde. Well, he's like you said, he's good puncher, but I think he's just got a puncher's chance, mate. All this flashy stuff on pads and stuff, it's just that's all it is, just flash. And I think Lyndon Arthur beats him again, mate. He's solid. And he's got a good coach in Pat Barrett as well.
Yeah. You think Lyndon beats him what, stoppage or points?
Points, mate. I think he could. I think to be fair, it depends though. It depends how Yard comes in because you seem like with Kovalev, like if you can go toe to toe with him and grind him down, it looks like he's there for the taking. Because like obviously, Kovalev just dropped him with a jab, didn't he? He grinded him down that much. He absolutely looked knackered in there. And Lyndon Arthur can do that, then stop him, mate. But I'd probably just say points win for Lyndon. Get the winning onto big and better things. I'd like to see him if he gets the W against Yard, I want to see him go up to European level, start pushing up to through the levels.
Yeah.
But
what do you see next for Huey?
Huey, I think it looked good against Hamer. I know Hammer. Sorry, I know Hammer's on slide and this and that, but still, you never seen anybody do that with him before, and gone in there and just smashed him up, really, didn't they? And they weren't actually injured. I just think they just pulled him out because it were only going one way, weren't it? They were going to end up splattered.
Yeah.
But he looked good. He's throwing his hands a bit more, and I know it's the cliche, but he's still young. He's only 26, isn't he? 27. He's still young, for a heavy and I think with all these top names now, they're all on slide now, realistically. So I think that in a few years' time, it could be a world champion, mate. But I just think I'd stick him in there with another sort of gatekeeper. I'd like to see him fight Chisora, but Chisora's fighting Parker again, isn't he? So,
yeah. Who do you think wins that?
What, against Chisora?
Chisora Parker.
Chisora Parker. Parker again. Chisora's just a gatekeeper. That's why I was like, Huey, it'd be a good fight for Huey. Just box him and just start pointing him, just get the rounds in. Could probably even stop him, to be fair, if he grinded him down. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's not a bad fight, the Parker Chisora fight, but it's definitely not pay-per-view worthy like it was sold as.
Do you think Chisora's shot to bits?
Oh well, they said. Well, the thing is, when David A beat him, they said he was done then, didn't they? And how many years ago was that?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
8 years ago, 10 years ago. And we're in 2021. He's still plodding along, isn't he? 9 losses now, is it? 10 losses?
11.
11 losses. There you go. Well, it says it all then, don't it? And they said they were done when David A beat him. So yeah, but it's one of them, mate. They'll keep reselling him. They'll keep putting him out there. I know he's split with David, but David would have ended up getting him in UFC, wouldn't they?
What, get his head kicked in?
Needing or kicked in, yeah.
No, he get
Jesus.
Chisora will get, if he went into UFC, he'd get knocked in
Oh,
the back,
mate.
mate. It's not his chosen
Oh,
sport.
it gets smashed up, mate. But it's a money game, isn't it, with these people? This is it. Thing is, though, the thing with Chisora, I just like somebody just say, you know what, Derek, just knock it on the head. You know, you're gonna end up seriously hurting yourself here. You know what I mean? But nobody's gonna show him that compassion, are they?
No, because everybody's going to eat off it, aren't they, if they're with him?
Oh, mate. Well, he sold his soul to devil signing with David A, didn't he? Because we know what David A is, don't we? It's a whore. It is, mate. That's what it is, and he knows it, mate. Coming out on fight week, that Tyson Fury Wilder 3 fight week, saying, "Oh, I'm not going to count the second fight. Wilder was hurting. Oh, he's game, and he's in big trouble here if he catches him. This and that." Mate. He's embarrassing. David A, you're embarrassing. It is, mate.
Oh, Chris letting bombs off.
mate, David, hey, there's nobody triggers me more than David A. I think Eddie Hearn might be on par with Eddie Hearn, David A. Coming out wearing a purple suit and them gimp glasses.
Stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet.
He's eating kangaroo meat. I had the boiling it instead of frying it this time. The boiling it.
Boiling it.
The boiling it. Yeah, well, he come out with them Jimmy Savile glasses, didn't he? Them round lens glasses. Looked at, oh mate, Jesus.
Cringy,
you gotta laugh at it. Oh mate, you just gotta laugh at it.
Wait, cringy, Chris.
Oh, cringe, Jesus. It's almost as cringy as AJ runs it ring like Ultimate Warrior with flames and fireworks. With white robe, the reincarnation of Muhammad Ali. Jesus.
Oh God, he's ripping me apart, man. Here.
Well, this is it though. This is it though, mate. But the thing is, though, these people, they bring it on themselves with how embarrassing they act. Grown men, these. Let rip, mate. Grown men, mate.
Grown men, yeah, exactly, mate.
Grown men.
Ultimate Warrior, AJ.
His next thing, he'll be shaking ropes like him, won't he? Shaking ropes like that.
Oh yeah.
Just imagine Ultimate Warrior music. Oh
my God.
Right. It isn't it? It was. It put me in it. So I just looked at him like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Yeah,
at least I made you laugh, eh?
Hey?
At least I made you giggle.
It may be summer.
You're not gonna get it. He'll come out with face paint for the second fight with multicolored armbands and face paint. He'll grow his hair out. Be like Rocky with beard. If Rocky 4 with training with beard, he'll come out with his hair grown out. He's been tucked away in hiding, living like a proper athlete, like an hard man.
Is that the next script they're gonna write?
Mate, listen, they got to write something, mate, because I don't know how he can come back from that, mate. I don't know, because he was emphatically beat. It wasn't even close. And anybody who says it were close, They don't know nothing, mate. They're just either deluded or they just don't know boxing. Weren't even close, mate. And Usyk, mate, he's a killer. He's a killer. Like they're saying, oh, that's the best we've seen of Usyk. He can't improve on that. Do you want to bet? Usyk will come back, mate. I think Usyk stops him next time out.
Yeah, I will.
He's a good mate. The thing is, though, like they're saying, oh, he needs to jump on him and he needs to rough him up. Do you not think anybody has not tried doing that to him before, mate?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like out of like 200 odd amateur fights and not like his professional career, you not think he's had somebody try to jump on him before and rough him up? Jesus.
Yeah.
But they'll say whatever. They'll try to sell it and they'll say whatever they need to say, won't they? Because that's it now. They're gonna cash in on AJ now. All these fights that couldn't be made before because people are apparently ducking him. You'll see now when Usyk beats him again, they'll start making these fights now. They'll start trying to make the Tyson fight. They'll start trying to make the Wilder fight. They'll make the White fight. All these people who are so-called avoided him first time round, they'll get made now.
Yeah.
But it's same. Like I know, you use the analogy with Barry with Chris Eubank Senior, how they cashed in on him, didn't they? And then they went. Then they left the sport, didn't they? And that'll be the same thing. It'll happen with Eddie, but with AJ, won't it?
Yeah, because they won't see be a point where they can earn money that they've been doing it with AJ. They'll look at the rest of the table and think, what we're doing.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, like, apart from like AJ, and it doesn't even have Canelo anymore. Who does Eddie actually have? I mean, what fight is there that Eddie could put on where you go, wow, that's a good fight?
Dylan White against somebody with an heartbeat.
Somebody who's not been dragged out of a COVID ward or a retirement home.
Yeah. Dylan White, Ergovic, I'd like to see that. Dylan White.
Yeah, but it's like, that wouldn't happen though, would it? Wouldn't happen though. Dillian White won't fight these people because, end of the day, if Dillian White fights the likes of Hergovic and Joyce, he gets punched upside down, don't he? I mean, could you imagine Dillian White fighting Joe Joyce? Joe Joyce would run Dillian White over.
Yeah, he would just run over him, wouldn't
he? The thing is with Joe Joyce, he's just like he's not hollow. He's just like big, and he's just a lump, mate. And he will just grind you down. I think Joyce beats AJ, but you'll never know because it'll never get made. Because at the end of the day, if Joe Joyce beats AJ, then what does that say of AJ? You know what I mean? Because they all laugh at Joe Joyce saying, oh, he's big, he's clumsy, and he's slow and he's sluggish. But end of the day, mate, he'd punch holes in the rest of them, wouldn't he?
Oh, of course he would, yeah.
You know what I mean? And what does that say about Usyk? The fact that Usyk beat him. You know, that just shows how good Usyk is.
Yeah, very good.
You know what I mean? And they're all saying, no, he can't handle with AJ's size and AJ's power and this and that. Well, look what I did to Joe Joyce. All these people were saying that. And then the likes of me and you and people on this channel, people who know boxing, you know, you look at a performance like that and go, well, you know what? Usyk's the real deal.
Of course he is, mate. Look, he's done Bellew. What else has he done?
Gassiev.
Chisora. Gassiev. Joshua.
Yeah, cleaned up at cruiserweight.
Cleaned up.
Took Tony Bellew's soul.
Yeah.
Still want to like that knockout. I don't think I've ever celebrated harder to somebody getting knocked out than that.
Yeah.
I think, what did you say? That was, you always backed against Bellew, but that's the only time you backed him and he lost.
Yeah.
Typical, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it cost me four accumulators each time I backed against Bellew. I got him all right. I backed against him.
Well, it's like, it's easy betting on these matchroom shows, though, isn't it? Just back the own fighter.
Yeah, but in accumulators, there's always one that messes up in the fight.
Always one.
Always one.
There's always one, isn't there? It's same with me. It's always one.
Do you know what I mean?
I have about a list of 6, and there'll just be one fight. They'll all get ticked off, and you just have the last fight or whatever. Like a fight in the middle will be red.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just get, mate, it's gutting, mate. But I'll just say, like, what do you think about like this? They're talking about like AJ, not AJ. They're saying about Usyk and Fury. Do you think that's a fight that appeals to you? Like, what do you think? How do you think that goes? That fight, based on last performances and everything we know about them.
Ooh.
So that's like hardcore's wet dream, that, isn't it? It's a good fight, that.
Usyk against Fury. Both got massive ring IQ, haven't they? That'd be like a.
Be very technical.
Yeah.
Who do you think takes it?
That'd be two guys at top of the game, like, going for it.
Who do you think wins it, though? If you had to pick somebody,
I think Usyk maybe shades it.
you reckon? Like what? Like squeaky, like literally just squeaks it.
You see, I could see Fury roughing him up, but I don't know. It's a close one.
Depends what type. It depends what type of Tyson we get. You get a Tyson that turned up for the second Wilder fight, who looked fit and ready, or we get the Tyson who turned up for the third Wilder fight, who looked like realistically hadn't done pretty much any training for it.
Yeah, he didn't look in shape, did he?
No, he didn't. But I think that's a testament to how good he is. Like the fact he hadn't trained for it, and he just turned up and flattened probably arguably one of the second best heavyweights in the world, and that's not based on Wilder's power. I'm not saying he's bad. Not based on his boxing ability. Like his power just gets him out of all these situations. That's just how. I'm not saying he's bad, Wilder. I think he's a good fighter. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how he does it. He does it at the end of the day. He knocks people out. That's what he does, and it works.
Yeah. It's
You know what I mean?
It works for him, doesn't it?
End of the day, it's all right calling him bad and saying he's not technically gifted and he's not very skillful and this and that. But I tell you what, he gets in there and he takes the souls, mate. When he hits people, mate, it's lights out. You know, you don't see Joshua putting people's lights out. You see him getting waved off by the ref. You know, when Deontay Wilder hits you, mate, it's game over.
Yeah, unless you're Fury, he gets up.
Unless you're Tyson, mate. But it's just one of them. I just think Tyson is Wilder's boogeyman, isn't he? You've got his number, haven't you? You've got his number. But I think anybody else, mate, Wilder beats. I think he beats the rest of them. He'd probably beat Usyk, because even you've seen against Usyk, you can get it. You know what I mean? Because AJ clipped him a few times.
Yeah.
It's one of them, though. If he can land, probably Usyk probably just outpointing, though, mate. He is that good, isn't he?
Oh, Usyk's he's a magician, isn't he? Come on.
Probably one of the best fighters I've ever seen, to be honest with you, mate. I mean, like, unfortunately, I didn't see the old heavyweight scene, obviously, because I'm only 21, so born in 2000, so I missed it all. You know what I mean? You can go back and watch them, but it's not the same as living through it, is it?
No.
So I missed it, unfortunately. And you can go back and watch him, but like I said, it's not the same. But he's probably one of the best fighters I've ever seen, Usyk. I think he's brilliant to watch.
Yeah, I do. I'd like to see Usyk against Wilder.
Yeah, it's a good fight, that, you know, mate. It's thing is, though, with Wilder, it's if he's going to fight again. That's the question. Will he fight again? Because at the end of the day, what is he, like 39 or something like that? I think he is. Might be even 40. Like, end of the day, like, he held that belt for like 5 years, and like, look at all the people he's run through. Is there any would he really, unless like he wanted to, financially he doesn't need to? Would there be any point in fighting again? Would he want to fight again? It's one of them, isn't it? I'd like to see him fight again, though.
Well, yeah.
I'd like to see him fight White. Fight White or Andy Ruiz. They're good fights, them. Like, Andy Ruiz would be a good fight. Solid little fighter. Dillian White. He'd run through Dillian White.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about Wilder against Ortiz 3? Would you like to see that?
I think, like, at this point, probably not. because I think like twice and knocking him out twice, I think it's emphatic enough. I know Ortiz was beating him both times on points, but end of the day, like I think first time round you could say, oh well, we'll do it again just to see if it can happen again. And they put him to Kip, didn't they? You know, so third time, if you scrape it barrel, I think you'd be better off seeing him against like an Andy Ruiz, somebody like that, or you could I don't know who else you could really throw him in there. You need to throw him in with like somebody who's like at that top level. You couldn't just throw him in with like a slouch, could you?
No, you can't. You can't.
Because I think if he was to fight again, he'd come out like a bull, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Because he'd be fuming. I mean, he looked fuming. I mean, like the fact at the time he didn't want to shake Tyson's hand. I mean, I know he'd come out with a statement, but you can imagine he's probably fuming Wilder, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, because he's used to just touching people and knocking them out, and then when you get it all your own way, and then you come against somebody, and it's like you come unstuck. It's like you start questioning yourself, and you start doubting yourself, and I think, mate, I'd just love to see him fight again. Because I like it. I like watching him fight, mate. It's exciting. You know what I mean? Because you never know what you're gonna get. You know it's coming, but it's like, when's it coming? Yeah. And then he hits him, and it's like kiss of death, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with Josh Warrington now?
Well, they're not going to fight Lara, are they?
What?
They're not going to fight Lara a third time, are they?
No, I don't think they will. It's an hard fight, that, isn't it?
Well, I know the second fight, like, they're going to complain about, oh, well, I had him going and I could have beat him. But I think that was like a blessing in disguise, really, because they can just say, well, we've got rid of it now, sort of thing. Personally, I'd like to see him fight him, but like to avenge the loss. But is he going to fight him? Probably not. So I don't know where he goes, really. What do you reckon? Who would you put him in with?
I'd go chase Galahad, try and get your old belt back and go back to the beginning.
Would you want to watch that, though? Galahad and Warrington,
I'd watch it because I'm a Warrington fan. But I think they've got unfinished business, haven't they, really?
Yeah. You could sell it as that, couldn't you? Warrington, Galahad 2, unfinished business. But it's just one of them. I like Josh Warrington. I like his style. Like, it's engaging, but against Kid Galahad, mate. Jesus. I mean, we're hardcore. We can watch these sort of fights, but he's against Yazza. Yeah, he looked good against Yazza, but he just in previous fights he's just so boring to watch. So boring. Against Yazza he kicked it up a notch, didn't he? I think somebody might have told him, go for it a bit. But normally he's just so boring to watch, isn't he? So boring to watch.
Quite negative, yeah, but he's good at what he does, though, isn't he?
Yeah, mate, not knocking him, mate. End of the day, skill-wise, 10 out of 10. And, we get told, he's an hard trainer and stuff, and he lives the life, doesn't he? So you can't knock him for that, mate. But to watch, no, you can't, mate. And he's gone through all levels, hasn't he? He's won all belts, hasn't he? He's gone through all levels. So you can't knock him. Yeah, can't knock him, but it's like you said, it's a negative style, mate. It's not very appealing for fans to watch, but he can box, mate. He can box.
Johnny Nelson's style wasn't appealing, but he made a living out of it, didn't
he? Johnny, like, where's Johnny nowadays? I'm not seeing much of Johnny. He does odd interview.
Having a break, I think.
Shall we just run through some of the things he's gone through? Johnny Nelson, the man who said Tony Bellew is technically better than Usyk. Okay. Johnny Nelson, the man who said that I'm scared for Anthony Joshua. Carlos Takam's like Evander Holyfield and who did he say? George Foreman rolled into one. Johnny Nelson, who said that beats Tank Davis. Can't remember his name. Irish fella.
Yeah.
You see, that's how good he is. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's gone for me.
Ice's Tank Davis. I mean, Johnny. The thing is, I think at this point, like Johnny, they just come out of his mouth, don't they? He just has to say something controversial to stay. Like it's one of them. It's like So like, the likes of him and Tony, like I feel like they just need to say stuff to stay in the limelight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just playing this because surely they're not that dumb.
Well, I hope not. I hope not, because I mean, listen, we know Johnny. Listen, he knows he's boxing. He's not that stupid. And that's it. Yeah, he said Usyk's an average southpaw, and Joshua can beat him in rematch. He's only an average southpaw. What, Olympic gold medalist, unified cruiserweight champion, no, undisputed cruiserweight champion, and now unified heavyweight champion. Just a bang average southpaw.
Oh yeah.
200 odd amateur fights, only like lost 2 of them. Olympic gold medalist, did it all the hard way. Let's just have it right. Unlike Joshua, who got gifted an Olympic gold medal, he did it all the hard way. Usyk, didn't he?
Yeah, it is on the hard road.
I'm an hard man on the hard road. What do you think about him? He's piping up again, isn't he?
Oh,
John.
JF.
MI5's watching me. I'm a dangerous man. True. MI5's watching me. I'm a dangerous man. I'm X-rated. I'm this and that. Free brasses. Free brasses. 3 bottles of whiskey and a bag full of drugs. His words. 3 brasses. 3 bottles of whiskey.
10-mile run in the morning.
Listen, right. 10-mile run. What did he say? 140 kilo bench press. Let me just clarify to people out there, right? Professional bodybuilders wouldn't do 140 for reps. Like they're like, no, they would, but they're like, look at what they're putting in their body. Like they would do that for reps, mate. John Fury, right, cannot bench 140 kilo for 8 reps. I'm just saying that. I'm just putting that out there right now. Cannot do it. And then what did he say? He can deadlift 200 key.
With Corey.
Oh, Jesus. Can just imagine John Fury's deadlift, literally like the worst form. Probably like look like he's snapping his back. And runs 10 mile every day. 10 mile every day. Well, it's just what is it? Fantasy Island? Is it you say? It's just Fantasy Island stuff, isn't it, mate? Just never. John Fury, 50-odd-year-old, 10 mile every day, 140 kilo for reps, and 200 kilo 1 rep max. 3 brasses, 3 bottles of whiskey, and a bag full of drugs, all in one night. Listen, John Fury, you're the man, mate. You keep bringing them out. You keep saying these things, mate, because everybody's laughing at you. And the fact Chew Geordie sat there and listened to all that and didn't try saying it like, oh, mate, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like you literally, when you say it out loud and you think to yourself, John Fury, you're a machine, mate. If you can do all that, you're a machine, mate. 3 bottles of whiskey. Anybody who can drink 3 bottles of whiskey and stand up, mate, you're a machine. But that's John. John Fury's world. He's the man.
3 or 4 brass a night.
That's what he said. 3 brasses, 3 bottles of whiskey, and a bag full of drugs. But like years previous, said he's never touched a drug in his life. So which one is it, John? So literally, not even me making it up. John Fury's words. John Fury himself said this. Came out of his mouth, mate. I'm not making it up, am I? Came out of his mouth. Out of his mouth. No, end of the day, we're not having a pop at you, John. This is what you're putting. You're doing it to yourself, mate. Just in future, either tell the truth or just keep it short. You're doing it to himself, mate, isn't it? When you put yourself out there and start making ridiculous claims, people are always going to laugh at you. Like you just like 100, like that one cracks me up. 140 kilo for like reps, like it's just, mate. It's just not. It's just like legit. Like it's just not happening at all. John Fury ain't that strong. I don't even think we could Mick. I don't even think Mick probably do 140 for reps. You reckon Mick could probably do 140 for reps?
About that, yeah.
Thereabouts, but he'd be like, last one be pushing it, wouldn't he? He'd be like proper getting it up on last one. But John Fury does it with ease. What is it? I've just done a John Fury tricep workout, 3 sets, and then come home. Three sets of pull downs, and then called it quits. That's it, mate.
Yeah, you're funny, Chris. Honestly,
I try, mate. I try. Thing is, though, end of the day, you got to just laugh at this stuff because like it's just so unrealistic, just not true whatsoever.
would you? What do you think? Tommy Fury against Jake Paul?
Jake Paul. Well, we're always gonna happen, weren't it, mate? I mean, like it just makes me laugh. You know, they're saying that Tommy's gonna win a British title and this and that. Well, that soon changed, didn't it? That soon changed. They've gone for money, and I can't blame it at the end of the day because it's easy. It's easy money for him. Does he beat him? Probably not. I think probably Jake Paul probably flogs him. To be fair, because Tommy in his last two or three fights, he's not really looked that good, has he? No. You know, I mean, if that bloke he fought on that American show, I mean, that would die of that. I mean, that's not me knocking him because at the end of the day, he's got it in ring and done it. But for him to be saying this and that, he's going to win a world title, he's going to fight a British. Can you imagine Tommy Fury fighting something like lads at like British level? He'd get beat, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of them though. It's just it were always going to happen. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick fight. And Jake Paul, listen, as much as we criticise him, end of the day, if people are fighting his shows and they're getting paid well, all credit to him. He's sick. What? Because of the likes of Eddie Hearn, you know, with all these awful cards and stuff, and Frank, they have made way for somebody like Jake Paul to wriggle the way into the sport and do this sort of thing because of how bad the shows have been the last few years. So at the end of the day, it's only the likes of Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, you know, they're the people to blame for this happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If every promoter in the world, you know, made the fights that the fans wanted to see, boxing wouldn't be on the slide and UFC wouldn't be as good as it is now compared to boxing. Because UFC is taking over, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the fastest growing sport. And like this, you know, we've heard Terry say it for years, you know, about this boxing recession. And I'll tell you what, mate, it's coming. When he first said it, I was unsure about it. I didn't know whether I agreed. And it's coming, mate. There's big time it is coming. Because it's just on the slide, mate, big time. It's going to go back to being an underground sport, isn't it?
Maybe in 15 years, something. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there's like the end of the day, right? The Joshua Fury fight. When that fight wasn't made, I think it just sucked the air out of the sport, mate. That was the fight the sport needed. You know, but this is it now. It'll never happen now. That. And I said, if people, all the fans on here and people who watched, you go back and watch my video from months ago, I said it would never happen. Well, even when they were talking about it, saying it's signed, and I've just got off the phone to Prince of Saudi Arabia, and it's signed. Never were, mate, and it'll never happen. Never ever happen. Because Ultimate Warrior is going to fight Usyk, and that's going to be it. Because Usyk's going to put him to kip this time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's it, really.
Yeah. Okie dokie, then. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Chris.
Pleasure, mate. I'm glad to see you're all right, mate. And I know it's not. I know you're not 100%, mate. But at least you're home, mate, and you're back in country and on the mend. That's most important, mate. Nah, mate, you're all right. I was all worried.
All right, mate. Well, thank you for being worried, but thank you. Top man.
Yeah, you're all right, mate. Top man. Cheers, right, Russ.
Mate. You take care, mate. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Oops. There you go, Mr. Cordwell. Stop rubbing things out.